My name is Adam Furlong. I'm from Plate Cove West, which is here on the Bonavista Peninsula, but it's about a half an hour away from here in Bloomfield where our farm is. Our farm is named Outport Acres, and we're a small-scale market garden model of a farm. We focus on environmental sustainability, and we don't use any chemicals or pesticides or herbicides or any of that kind of stuff here on this farm. I actually used to work in the oil and gas industry in engineering roles for over 10 years. I just felt kind of finished with that industry as a whole. So I've always had kind of an interest in farming, like small-scale ecological farming. And so I just kind of, every time that I tried to figure out something else that I was going to do, I always just kind of gravitated back towards this. And so I said, well, this is what I'm going to do. The way that we're farming is what I love about farming. You know, I don't have a whole lot of interest in driving around a huge farm tractor or stuff. I really like to work with my hands, so I like this small scale model of farming so I can just be in there manually doing the work to grow the crops and you know, pretty much everything that we do here, my hands have touched it by the time it's planted and harvested and into the customer's hands. It's all much smaller scale, like hand-operated tools and things, like adequately sized technology for the type of farming that we're doing. There's nothing overkill here. We've got a BCS walk-behind tractor, two-wheel tractor is all we really use for a farm tractor here on this farm. We don't have a riding tractor or like a large-scale tractor like that, but the BCS is used for bed preps and things like that. We've got 3 different attachments for it. It does have a power takeoff, the same as a regular tractor would, and we can swap out the attachments based on what job we need it to do. But yeah, we've got a flame weeder for torching weeds that might be popping up in a bed that we're about to use. I've got a greens harvester that just operates with a cordless battery-powered drill. So it's just all smaller scale tools to match the smaller scale model of agriculture. We've also used the Data Farms weather station here. They just came out a couple weeks ago and installed that on site. So we use that to monitor our, you know, wind speeds, the amount of sunlight in a day, the amount of precipitation that we're getting, which lately is not very much at all. I feel like agriculture in general, just in the world, just kind of felt the push to be able to feed 7 billion people. And I feel like everybody, everywhere in the world, just looked at it and said, this is a route that we can produce enough food to feed 7 billion people, and they just ran with it. And it wasn't really sustainable, and nobody even really thought about if it was sustainable until, you know, a couple years ago, maybe a decade ago, when everybody kind of just stepped back and said, okay, the way that we're doing things is destructive to the soil, it's destructive to the environment, it's destructive to biodiversity, and the way that a lot of the crops were being made or being produced was not really producing healthy crops for the people who are consuming them. So I feel that the movement that is slowly happening now with more sustainable agriculture practices are helping the environment, helping the soil, helping the health of the people who are eating the food. I don't think a lot of people think about things that are, you know, commonly and easily grown here, like tomatoes and peppers and things like that, because, you know, the vast majority of those crops that you see in a grocery store typically come from, you know, at best mainland Canada, but usually it's from the States, California, South America and things like that. So next year we're planning on having like an on-site, an on-farm store here that people can stop in and buy things, because we do have a lot of local customers, but they just have gotten to know us and they just stop in here on the farm to buy what we have available. But we'd like to have like a dedicated retail space here on site as well, that anybody could stop in and get whatever we have available at the time. I'm also planning on having some pastured laying hens, and in the next 5 years I'd like to have some pastured beef and pork as well. The advice that I'd have for some young farmers who are just getting started is, if you don't just start, you're never going to have any fraction of what you would like to do. So start smaller than you think you should, and just work it up to where you eventually want to get over, you know, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years.